Hi, and welcome to this lesson on sending broadcast. I'm Norman McIntyre, and I'll be your instructor. We'll begin with the basics of what it takes to send a broadcast, and we'll see why it will be useful to you. We'll look at broadcast naming. We'll find out it's important to have the name of your broadcast be unique, such that no one else uses the same name. We'll look at sending data in broadcast, see how you can send various types of data as part of your broadcast. And we'll have a demo exploring our sending of broadcast and also give you a lab exercise where you can explore sending custom broadcast. Let's look at the basics of sending broadcast. First, any application can create and send a custom broadcast. So that's kind of cool. It says if you decide you want to broadcast some information such that other apps can access that, then you can do so by creating these custom broadcasts. To create and send a custom broadcast, what you'll do is first create an intent. So with the intent, you'll give it a unique name. So in this one, notice I said com.example.hello. So just for the sake of demonstration, I chose a simple name, but what you'd want to do is have a name using your reverse DNS name of whatever your web server is. You would reverse that and use that as part of your name, just like when you name your application bundle. So here, com.example.hello. Then, once you have that unique named intent, which has your broadcast in there, then you'd say send broadcast. And notice when you say send broadcast, you have that intent that you created, and it's broadcast such that anyone can receive it that's in the system. Now, the broadcast naming, I want to stress again to make sure that the intent action is unique. So Android uses one, for example, android.intent.action.dial. Well, that is reserved for use by the Android platform. We know that because it begins with the word Android, and here they have android.intent.action.dial. So that's an actual name of a broadcast. When you're doing custom naming, again, you want to make sure you use reverse DNS naming, similar to like I did here, where notice I have com.example.myapp.intent.action. Now again, you can call this anything you want to, but the convention is to make your name unique such that it won't interfere with someone else that would try to use the same broadcast name. Let's look at how we send data in broadcast. It turns out that any data that can be placed in the intent using these key value pairs can also be pasted and sent into the broadcast. So what do we mean by that? Well, you create an intent, and in that intent, you can put extra information. So for example, like put extra, give it a string and a value. So that would be the unique key and value pair that was pasted into there. And in a similar manner, when you send this, you can use the intent, you can put extra a floating point value, or you can use the intent to put extra a string value, or we could do that several other times and put different data inside of that before we sent it as our broadcast. So when you run this in the emulator, to see an example of this, we'll have a running emulator that says touch the screen, and by touching the screen, you'll have a broadcast sent. So when we do that, we'll send the broadcast, and the idea is it will be sent out, and anyone who receives it can receive this hello broadcast receiver. In this demo, we're going to explore sending out broadcast, sending a custom broadcast and displaying that we've received it. So let's begin by creating a brand new project. I'll call this one Mod 13 Demo, and we'll just use the defaults, next, 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 and finish. So my focus here is I want to have a button on the screen, And when I touch the button, I want to send a broadcast. Now when we send the broadcast, it'll be sent throughout the system and any other application could receive that broadcast. So what I'll do for this demonstration is actually go back to a previous application that we wrote and show how it could receive the broadcast that this one is sending out. So let's do this. We'll come here. I'm not going to use their built-in layout that they have, and instead all I need is a button. So I'll say let's have a button, and I'll say create a new button of this. So we'll create a button that's part of this activity. And then we will take our button and I'll say set the text. I'll say touch to send a broadcast. And actually I think I'll show a specific broadcast. Let's call it com.example.demo. Okay, so that's going, I'll say com.example. How about com.example.demo.hello? All right, so the message is this is going to be a unique message that went out. Just like we saw earlier, we saw the system sent out one like action time tick. All right, and in fact, maybe just to demonstrate, you basically choose a namespace that only you have. You put your name of your application, and then you can have whatever action you want. So I'm just going to say action here, action hello. All right, so I'll call it action hello. Okay, so that's going to be what I will put there in the button. I'm also, so that I don't make any typos, I'm going to copy this into my buffer. So I'll do an edit copy so I can access this in the other application, because for the other application I want to tell it to receive this particular broadcast. So I'm also going to say, all right, let's have the button. Let's put our listener. So I'll say button. Let's set the on-click listener. And here for the on-click listener, I'll say just give us a new view.onClickListener. And I'll press enter and put all that here. Let's see, I actually wanted it to give my nice little, fill in the information here. So let's say give us a new on-click listener. Let's see if we've got this. So, okay, I'll back up again. I'll say here's the on-click listener that we want. So I'll press enter. And then here I need to say new space. I want a view dot on-click listener. So right there is what I want. I want a new view dot on-click listener. I'll press enter. There I go. So this is one of the values of seeing the demo. You can see these little anomalies that occur and how you can basically recover from those. So here we have the new view, the on-click listener. And when I do an on-click, what I want to do is send a broadcast. So how do I do that? Well, first we create an intent. So the intent is going to equal to a new intent of what? Well, that's why I did the copy and paste of this. The intent is going to be our action, which in this case is com.example.demo.actionHello. And then what I can do is say send a broadcast, giving it the intent. So that's all it takes to send a broadcast. So the idea is when someone touches the button, that broadcast will be sent out. Now, although it gets sent out, it's not going to be received unless someone asks to receive it. So I'm going to go ahead first and run this. And let's, of course, my first time I run it, I won't see anything happen because I will not have anybody to receive it. So I'm going to say, okay, bring this up. And I'll come over here to my emulator. Notice I just have a white screen, and what the white screen tells me is I forgot to set the content. So I'm going to set the content right here. Say set content view, and the content view will be of the button. All right, so I forgot to set the content view. So let's run it now. Got the content view selected. And we'll say run it on our emulator. So we'll come over here. And notice it says touch to send broadcast. Well, right now, if I touch this, you can tell by the animation on the button, it's definitely sending, right? It's definitely sending something. But right now, we don't have anything in our system to receive it. So we could actually write another application that receives it, or we could go to one that we had created earlier and just modify it where we could receive this particular broadcast, right? Make it where we could receive what we've got here. So I think I'll do that approach. I'll say, well, you know, we've created a project earlier, and I think what I'll do is open that one up. So what I'll do is let's open a recent project that we did. I'll come here to the module 12. Notice it says this new project can be opened in a new window or replace the project in the existing. How would you like it to proceed? And notice the default is this window. So I'll say let's open it up in this window. So here we have this project, and what I want to do on this one is when we go to our main activity, when we ran this one earlier, what we had was we enabled a receiver for this intent action time tick. So what I'm going to do is as follows. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to modify this to say private final intent filter. Filter equals a new intent filter. And this time I'm going to paste, and it's important you have this right, you want to paste in the exact intent filter you're looking for. So here I'm looking clearly for com.example.action.demo hello. Whereas in my other demo, I use the system provided name. So let me run this now. Click on run. And we know that this demonstration from the previous module can receive broadcast, and we match that one with the one we were doing in this module where we actually send broadcast. So what I'll do is enable it. Now notice it doesn't currently work with time tick anymore. We're going to manually send one. So what I should be able to do is come here to this square that says show me my recent applications, and I'm going to choose this module 13 demo. And of course this says touch to send a broadcast. So if I touch to send that, what I should see, if I now go back to my recent applications and I choose module 12, notice on my module 12, look at that, com.example.demo.action.hello. And in fact, if I go back over here to module 13, let me send one broadcast, two broadcasts. So I've sent a total of 3 broadcasts now. Let me go back over to module 12 and look at this. The count is 3, com, example, demo, action, hello. So indeed, we actually received these broadcasts. And the thing that should strike you as being quite interesting is these are 2 separate applications. That is this module 12 demo that we did earlier in our course compared to this one, the module 13 demo. These are in totally separate spaces. And so the module 13 and the module 14, totally separate, but yet they can communicate by using this broadcast. So getting back to our project, what we've demonstrated, this was to show we could receive a broadcast in one application and then send a broadcast in a separate application. This concludes this demo on sending out a broadcast. In this exercise, you'll use custom broadcast receivers. You'll have a receiver. You'll download the exercise guide on the course page under the Materials tab, and then you'll complete the exercise and compare your custom broadcast receiver to the one that I have here in the video. Thank you for joining me.